Hey everyone, welcome back to How to Speedrun Minecraft. It has been a while. I've been doing other stuff, but we are back, and today I'm joined by Rowl.
Yo, what's up? This is gonna be fun. Uh, Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, I wanted to invite you for a while actually, so I'm glad that we finally got to do it. Before we start, just want to shout out Raul and Rocks, I don't know, have
Yeah,
also
it's rocks.
started their own podcast, and I'll put that on the screen right now, and I'll link it in the description. Um, I don't know, Raleigh, what do you want to say about it?
Thank you. Um, it's fun. It's fun doing these. It's also really fun listening to other people, and especially the people that feel like underrepresented in MCSR. So we're gonna be inviting like different people that we haven't heard of usually. So
Yeah, and that's awesome. I think getting to hear from people that you normally don't get to hear from is always important.
yeah,
But that's why I'm trying to get more like no mic streamers on here. I'm trying my best,
yeah.
but they don't want to talk. I don't know, just like an overall question. How has this year been for you in terms of speed running and whatever else?
It's been alright. I feel like it had its own ups and downs, but I feel like overall it was a better year than the last year. I kind of been sorting out the IRL stuff. I started school this year.
Hmm.
I swapped from med school to linguistics, so that was been fun. Speedrunning, well, speedrunning wise, I feel like it's been worse, but streaming wise, it's been better. I haven't even done that much this year. I feel like I just played ranked. Well, I guess we did back and stuff. It's been fun. It's been fun.
That's good. Yeah, I don't know. It's just great. Like, how long have you been in MCSR for at this point?
That's 4 years, yeah, 4 years and counting.
Does it feel like a long time or not really?
It does feel like a long time, honestly, because before that, I've been doing like different games. Like I think the longest that I played the game for was CS, and I played it since like 2014. But I've been taking breaks, and MCSR I basically had like very little breaks. CS I had like 1 year, 2 year break in between, but MCSR is like the longest break I had is I think 3 months or something.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that more breaks would be like better for how you play the game, or do you just enjoy it without taking
Yeah,
many
I
breaks?
100%. I feel like this is something I've been just stubborn on this. It always felt to me like the break, you're not doing anything, so you're not improving. And I've always had this mindset of yeah, I should be always improving, I should be always playing and stuff. But genuinely, since I took my last break for like a month and a half recently, like I came back to ranked and I instantly got top four. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's really good. It's really refreshing, and I feel like you can adjust your mental really well after the break. Everything is more clear. Somebody that takes a lot of breaks is Andrew, and he's always like really good after the break. There is you need to de-rust and stuff, but genuinely it's fun. It's good to take breaks, and especially if MCSR is the only hobby you have, then just like putting eggs in different baskets is good. It's really good.
Yeah. No, I think there's something to be said for that. There's I think like a speedrunning phenomenon, like D-Rust buff, where people take long breaks and then PB while they're still derusting within like a stream or two, which is it's interesting to see.
Yeah, that was happening a lot in like 2021. I remember. I just remember like five people that did that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember D-Max. I used to watch him a lot in 2021, and he would like always take breaks and then come back and PB. And it's also kind of correlated because the strats were improving a lot back then. So you just learn new strats and you get better instantly. But yeah,
Yeah, I think it's really cool. It's at the same time, if you're like the guy who's constantly playing, I that can be pretty frustrating. Like you keep playing, other people just like they don't play and then they come back and instantly PB and then you wonder like what am I doing wrong? You know?
yeah. That's why the breaks are good, so you don't have to feel that way.
Yeah, about 4 years Minecraft streaming. How did you get into MCSR?
Well, I've known about it since like Illumina and COVID times, since 114.
Mhm.
My friend told me about this. He was watching Illumina all the time in March 2020, and I remember he would just like screenshot funny messages and send it to me, and I was just like, "Who is this person you're watching, Minecraft streamer? Why are you watching Minecraft in the first place?" Like we used to play Minecraft, but like I couldn't believe he would just like, watch a Minecraft stream. And he told me about it, but I wasn't like super interested. I was doing CS at the time. I was playing a lot of CS, I think, and then after school you do like national exams to apply to universities, and I did that, and I had nothing to do. I was super bored, and I remember 116 came out, and I watched the runs, and I got inspired, and I tried running because I didn't know how to speedrun at all, and I was really bad. I was really really bad at this, and I found like a random seed that was good. It was like a village with a lava pool and a fort spawn. And I tried running that the same seed for like 3 days, and I got to the stronghold once and died, and I gave up. And I didn't play. I didn't play until November, basically. I was watching because that's when D-Max got world record in September. He's
Yep.
17xx, and I started watching him after that. After that, in November, I started playing daily. I still have all my VODs on YouTube unlisted.
Really?
Yeah, I was looking at them recently, and it's basically every day. I think it's like November 17th or 12th that I started, and it was every day. It was every day and a lot. I was playing a lot.
So is Dima like one big streamer that helps you get into Minecraft speedrunning?
Basically, yeah. It was him and Benix that I was watching a lot.
Yeah, that's cool. I think it was mainly Benix. It was Benix for a lot of people that I've talked
Yeah,
to, which is cool. And he's still running, so
yeah.
you've been, I don't know, pretty consistently like known as a great speedrunner throughout a lot of different eras of Minecraft speedrunning. Do you have a favorite year or era, I guess?
Mm, this is really hard. I really kind of enjoyed the. I had this grind for world record. This was like fall 2021, I think, and up until like February, 2022, I was grinding a lot, and I kind of enjoyed that. I feel like that was the best I've been comparatively to other runners. This is like my biggest legacy. I think I was at the time I was like second best after Crooks. Many people said this to me, and some people think that it's annoying to say that, but genuinely, it's kind of nice that people say that. Because I don't think I've been. I probably have been second best in ranked in season 3, but I enjoyed that time. RG was fun back then because you had to be so creative when playing RG back then because it was so unoptimized. It's genuinely you had to be creative, and that was the fun part about it to me.
Do you think that nowadays it's getting too optimized and everything's kind of standardized?
Yeah, sort of. There's still a lot of things in micro that people are still need to sort out, but I think that like general understanding of the game and general like big picture stuff is getting kind of solved, and now it's really down to some really small stuff, which is fun in its own way, but for me personally it's not as fun.
Hmm. I mean, I think part of what gives Minecraft its charm is that it's not really like many other speed games, if any at all, but it's getting optimized to the point that people are starting to look at the really micro stuff more.
Yeah. It gets like we've talked about this with hacks. It's pretty much solved on like super linear seeds, but there's still depth to it because not every seed is linear. And even on linear seeds, there's still enough decision making for you to make where you can still improve on other people, but it's getting tough.
I think about that when I watch like ranked and playoffs, especially all the time, because it's like you can look at one seed, both players play near perfect, it's close the whole way, and they're making like the same exact decisions within seconds of each other. And then there's
Yeah.
games where, both people die and the routing is weird and it's like a chaos. So,
There are also like just seeds where people it looks like people are playing different seeds. Like the decisions are so different because it's
yeah.
unlinear and people do so much different stuff. It's crazy. About the close one, this reminded me of the Visual Automat match. I don't know if you saw that, where all the 5 seeds were like within 5 seconds entering the end.
I don't know if I remember
Have you
that.
not seen that one? You should rewatch that genuinely. And for other people, if you haven't seen that match, you should watch it. It's a crazy match. I think it's the craziest like MCSR match ever for how close it is.
Yeah, talking about rank specifically, um, last chance quals are in a few days, and then playoffs are coming up. How are you preparing and how are you approaching it this time?
Honestly, kind of similar to the last time. I feel like the problem for me has been that I genuinely care too much, and I've been because MCSR has been the only thing I'm doing, and I've been trying so hard, and it's also just affected my mental really bad at some points because I've this is what I'm thinking about, but I've never done any sports. I don't know if this is like universal, but at least for with the people I talk to who've done sports, they like learned how to be a competitor, and I've never learned that. So it's been hard for me to actually lose and take that,
Hmm.
especially when like this is the only thing that I'm doing and I'm inputting so much time. Like at some point I feel like with ranked I was inputting the most time. Nobody has been playing as much as I do at some seasons. It would generally just crush me when I don't get what I want. But now I just try to chill. I still try. I still want. I still have the spark for competition. It's just that I'm trying to be more balanced about it.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely a more healthy mindset. Do you think that losing or failing gracefully is like an important skill to have as a competitor then?
Yes, really. Because people who watch my streams know that every time I lose a tournament, it genuinely makes me want to give up. But for some people, it's the opposite. They see they lose and it makes them want to prove it again. They want to prove it to themselves or to other people, and I feel like that drives you better than anything else. And I didn't have that, and now I kind of trying to do that, but at the same time also just taking a more chill approach to it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's good. I mean, you did mention you've taken a break recently and how that's worked for you.
Yeah, it's been good. It's also it's also applies to you, right? Because you've been on a break and then you came back to AA and you instantly got the world record pace.
Yeah. Um,
The breaks are good.
yeah, no, breaks are good. And I can also vouch on behalf of Kush, who played back for a month or two and then came back and I don't know, just PB'd at like 2 a.m. one night or something.
Yeah.
It's just like interesting. Like I wonder how that works in our brains because it's like I'm not working on this. I shouldn't be improving, but it works somehow.
Yeah. I haven't really looked deep into this, but I don't know. Just changing your mindset helps a lot. Just for me, it's like after a break and after I haven't done it for a long time, I just look back at it and I don't know how to explain it better than just being able to see more and everything is more clear because there's some things that you tunnel vision on a lot and then you just suddenly realize and it clicks, and that's kind
Yeah.
of what happened to me.
No, that's a good point. I guess stepping away can help you be more introspective, like in the sense that if you play, let's say you're making the same like two mistakes and you just maybe them, maybe you don't, but you just keep playing, you're not changing much.
Hmm.
That doesn't really go anywhere.
Yeah. And with the breaks, well, I've been just like doing other stuff, playing other games, looking at other sports and esports, and that's something. Even I've talked about this on the other podcast, but even if you don't learn anything in particular um, to apply to the game you play, it's still you understand how to be better at the game, and then you can apply that knowledge of being better to other games. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's sort of the idea.
Hmm.
And that's also in the mindset about improving and stuff. I feel like it's applicable to any sport or game you do or any hobby and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think at high levels of speedrunning and maybe any level, there's immediate, like, obvious gameplay things and decisions, and then there's more abstract stuff, like, I don't know, how you think in general,
Yeah,
that you can pick up from lots of other sources.
yeah. And the mindset is the biggest thing, because I feel like it's applicable. Well, it needs to be kind of similar in a sense, because I feel like different games and different sports need different mindset. Because I watched a lot of CS. I like watching CS. Since I don't play anymore, but I watch a lot of tournaments and stuff. And it's a team sport, and it's very different. And it's interesting to compare how much in team sports, the coach and in-game leader matter. They matter more than any other player, basically.
Mm-hmm.
While in MCSR, it's just one person. It's just you. But then you can look at like lockout, and I feel like in lockout, when I watch the duo tourney, the IGL matters actually so much. Like it's interesting to think about.
Mm. Going back to coaching, I have noticed that that's been going on more in MCSR with
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have anything to say about that? Do you have any takes?
I think it's good. Like I don't know if you know Titanium. This is the
Yeah,
guy
I've
who's
heard of
been
them.
they've been coaching a lot of people, me including. Um, Also, if anybody is watching this and they want to talk, that you can always DM him. I think he's very open, talk to different people. Um, but it's really good. The one thing, well, I realize this kind of applies to also career coaching. But even if the coach doesn't need to be the same level as you or better, they can be at the lower level, but they will still just ask questions. If they know how to ask good questions, it still can like open your eyes to some things. Because Titanium, they have like 30-minute PP or something. But sometimes we would vote review my sessions, and they would ask one question and they don't even mean something by it. But then it makes me like think think through the stuff that I've never thought of, and it actually makes a lot of sense, and I can make improvements off of that. And that's why I don't understand people who like don't understand why Curway is coaching, but genuinely it's really good. Even I don't know, for me, something I've struggled a lot is the mental part of it. Just like having another person be there and talk to me about this stuff helps a lot.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, and I think it's a way Minecraft, I guess you could say, branches off from a lot of different games. Like, for
Hmm.
example, chess. You pretty much would always want a coach who has higher elo than you.
Yeah.
But yeah, a new perspective. That's interesting. I think, I mean, I don't know if you've experienced this, but I was thinking that maybe if someone isn't really in that top runner space, they kind of have a unique take on things. Like, let's say all top runners are playing one split the same way. And then someone comes along who's, I don't know, several minutes slower, but they just have a different idea because they're, you know, I don't know, they just think about it differently.
Yeah. It's like it's not even necessarily their different skill level. For example, one thing that actually I think applies to what you're saying is when I was playing hardcore, 100 hardcore, um I was doing the treasure route and I would just always die if I play aggro. But not playing aggro, like not breaking the gold block early, is just so much slower. And that's kind of how I came up with the safe boomer, because I had this issue and I needed to solve it, and I solved it with one block,
Hmm.
and it's not like the playing hardcore doesn't necessarily make you better at the treasure bastion and stuff, but it just thinking about stuff that you never thought of is really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's like a safer play. Maybe it's like technically, I don't know, half a second slower, but just the cost benefit is it's so much.
Yeah, because like if you just take one hit, that's one less pearl that you can do. So I feel like that's worth it.
Going back to ranked, in playoffs, do you have the mindset of like just playing safer than normal, going for like consistent plays? Or I
Mm,
mean, do you like switch it up per opponent? Like, this person plays riskier, so I should play, I don't know, a different way as well.
No, really, because I don't know. I feel like my playstyle is not versatile enough for that. But usually, what I've been doing is just trying to play it as regular ranked match, except I'm trying like I'm really trying on the mechanical part, and I'm trying not to over focus on it and still like do the proper decision making, but just trying to be faster. That's basically it. Because
Yeah.
you can't try your 100% in regular season all the time because it would be really draining. Like
Yeah,
I
for
watched
sure.
Loki and I feel like he does that, but there's a reason he plays 4 hours every 3 days. Genuinely, is just so draining. I feel like for him, um, so it's different than the regular season. But also, I've not been doing that well in playoffs. I've only had this last one that I got third place, where I feel like things just kind of clicked. But yeah.
And you've been third, you've been fourth before also, right?
Oh yeah, fourth one, I guess, yeah. But I was so nervous on that one. I feel like it was the match versus Griffin. I lost 3-0, but I was first to the fourth every single seed, and I feel like I lost all of them to nerves. Because it's so weird because for me, the nerves don't necessarily mean shakiness. It's the I call it mind fog, the brain fog.
Mhm.
um, I just stopped making the decision that I would usually make, and sometimes I just can't make a decision. I would just stare at the screen and not know what to do, and that's like the scariest part um, when that happens to me. Because the shakiness, I had the shakiness in the first tournaments that I played, but I've been playing so much of them that it kind of just went away with time. But the brain fog is really hard. Sometimes it just gets into your head.
Yeah, I mean, I've experienced that. I think a lot of people can relate to that. Is it something you're actively like working on, I guess, or practicing? Like, can you even
Mm,
practice working on that?
I don't really know. It's weird because in my mind it's a combination of multiple things. One of them is definitely the confidence, how much confidence you have in yourself. It's really hard. One of the things, like I said, just trying to care less has helped with that because like having higher stakes will always make you more nervous. And the playoffs is the highest stake tournament, so
Hmm.
everyone's gonna always gonna be nervous. But just trying to care slightly less about it. I don't know what's the best way to phrase this because caring less doesn't really sound good, but just being more chill about it. It's it's just a tournament. There's gonna be more playoffs. You can always bounce back. Just try your best on this one. That's all. That's the mindset, I think.
Hmm. No, I have heard that. I'm a musician, and I've heard a lot of different takes on like performance anxiety. I've heard that take like be more chill, care less, but I've also heard that from like professionals that it's very difficult for some people can do that. Some people
Hmm.
can just like it's not a big deal and chill. And I've heard some people like they just don't get nervous at all, which I don't know how you can do that. Like superhuman.
Yeah.
But yeah, for some people it's hard to just like okay, it doesn't matter when you've spent I don't know a year or multiple years leading up to one moment.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy, but what I'm thinking usually about is because Titanium have been talking to me about this stuff. I think he's working on a couple of documents for mental stuff, and one of them is flow state. And it's like you need to understand that the task in front of you, you can do it. You've been practicing for this. You've been training for this. You can do it. It matches your skill set, and you should just focus on it. And I don't know. That's something I've been thinking about more. It's kind of ties to the confidence, but it's
Hmm.
just a different type of mindset in my mind.
Yeah, I think confidence is just so important for nerves. Just believing in yourself. Um,
Yeah, knowing that you can do it.
Speaking in my own experience, I like to VOD review my own A runs a lot and just figure out exactly like um what I should do better. And I was watching back my end games and I was like why am I just like kind of messing around for like 2 minutes? Like I would get to endgame and then be like kind of bamboozled, and then I would start the endgame. So now when I'm in runs, it's just like, don't overthink it. Don't be like, okay, yeah, I've practiced it, so you just go do it.
I I've been watching you, and it's generally because I want to do AA next year. I
Uh
think
huh.
because that's something has been on on my list, but it's a lot. And I watched you for 15 minutes, and I've saw so many cool things that you do that I've never thought of before. It's like the prep zero prep where you drop the items in the portal. It's like such an
Yeah.
easy thing, but it's so good. You don't need to worry about your inventory space at all because
Mm-hmm.
you worry about the inventory space in the entities as well, and that just solves it. So
Yeah.
that was really fun. The way you do zero is really cool. How you after killing the dragon, you just wait while waiting for the dragon to fly down and the gateway to open. You craft
Mm-hmm.
like boats and fishing rods. There's like little things you can just tell that you thought that through, and that's really cool. And that's really cool. And it's the similar in end games because I've seen you and somebody else I was watching. I think Kush I was watching.
Yeah.
You can tell they have a rhythm. They have an algorithm that they
Oh
do,
yeah, for
and
sure.
you can tell that they've practiced this. You always place the shulker in the same spot. You always place like the furnaces in the same spot, the brewing stand, the water
Mm-hmm.
source for it's. You can tell it's well practiced, and that's something that I was lacking when I was doing end games because my end games were always horrendous. I think when I played AA, I had decent paces with debris. Like I would be done with debris like 220,
Yeah.
and then my end game is 40 minutes, and it's over.
No, it's definitely the part of the run you practice the most in A. I think
Yeah,
tying it back to any percent, you can see it in the way a lot of people are playing now versus maybe a year or two ago. They'll put like their fire charges or flint steel always in the same spot,
yeah.
or they'll organize their hotbar or inventory very specifically.
Yeah, people just have micro routes within the bastion routes and within the fortress now.
Yeah.
Because I've never, I just remember starting playing ranked, and I never even thought about this. How you blaze bad, and I watched Dugal do this. The way he blaze bads, and then he makes a circle around the spawner while punching the fire, so he ends up at the back, so he can build out the platform, and it's
Mm,
super linear, and that way you end up getting spawned on less. And that's like just something I've never thought of before, and that just clicked in my head, and I started doing that, and my spawner splits became so much better. And what you said about void reviewing, I think void reviewing is really underrated. Like I started doing this like a year ago with titanium and silver and other runners, and it helps a lot, especially having other people watch at the same time is really good because of different perspectives and just people who ask questions and just question the way you do things. It's really good.
mhm. Okay, other topics. You said you've been playing all portals today. How has that
Yeah.
been going? I know you've held, I don't, you might hold both of them now, RSG and SSG
No,
record in that, right?
I got beaten the RG one.
Aw.
I got beaten by a Chinese runner. I don't remember their name, but they beat me by like 2 minutes. It's
Unlucky.
depressing. Yeah. I'm trying to get it back. I don't know how long I will be playing this, but I think if I get another sub 7, I will probably stop playing and play AA after that, sometime after playoffs.
Mhm.
It's honestly fun. It's fun to do it. It's not a fun category to play all the time, but I think once a year to do it is fun because the prep split is really fun, and I guess the stronghold split is annoying because it's so monotone. But you genuinely get into the rhythm, and you can segment the run as well if you want to. But it's a fun category. It's a good
Mhm.
like challenge that more I think more people should do. Not even that many people have completed it.
Do you think it helps you get better at Nav?
Um, well, it's weird because you blind. Well, you do an educated blind, and then you always have the mobs in the
Yeah,
stronghold.
that's true.
It kind of does help, um, because sometimes you will still have mobs in the stronghold when you do 20, but it's weird, but it's just fun. The prep split is really fun.
I feel like every runner has one like goofy, less mainstream category that they're invested in,
Yeah.
and it's all portals for you. For hacks, when I talked to him, it was like all minerals or something.
Because that's the only cat X he played. Well, he played like Pride Person and stuff, but yeah.
Yeah. And there's a good amount of tech out there for all portals, right? Like there's a whole dock and routing, and there's like the
Yeah.
tool for the strongholds.
And the tool, it improved so much. It started like we started with Feinberg just going in the circles, and then
Yeah.
Mime used this program for, I don't remember how it's called, like salesman problem or whatever, to solve the optimal path. And then I think Ella and Jude worked on it as well, and they made it so now sometimes you leave the pad at one of your portals, and then you come back to it later, so you like loop around and stuff, and sometimes you just go back to spawn. It's really interesting to think about. It's it's been a fun development in that part.
Um, and yeah, other marathon categories you've done back this year. I mean, how was
Mhm.
that?
I've done it twice. I've done it with
Oh,
hacks and
really?
then solo. Yeah, I had a solo world record for 22 hours before Tom beat me.
Oh.
I was rushing, completing the run because I knew we started like I started a week before, and then Tom has been slowly catching up to me. It was really fun. For like a month, we were just like speed running against each other.
That's
It was
funny.
really fun. Um, yeah, it's honestly it's fun. I don't know. It's so deep. There's so much, especially in the newer versions. There's so much about Minecraft. You learn a lot. You
Hmm.
genuinely learn so much. The game is just so different as well past
Yeah.
116. There's been so many improvements. Like going back to 1.7, you play that category and it makes you appreciate 116 a lot. Genuinely a lot. Because that version is so empty. It's so empty, and so many quality of life features are missing. Um, and 121 is the opposite way. Like there's a couple of things that I wish were in 116. But it's fun. There's so much tech in the back as well. It's also chill. Like if you don't take it that seriously, you can just play it slowly and just enjoy. It kind of has like playing survival in old days vibes, but at the same time
Mhm.
you're still speedrunning. So
Did you have a favorite portion of the run?
mm, I mean, definitely exploring the same as in AA, but
Hmm.
I know which one I hated the most. I hated
Yeah.
the trial chambers. That one, it's so boring. It's just doing those dungeons for 8 hours, and then the most annoying part is that it's gambling. It's literally gambling, and first of all, you only get a key 50% of the time, and then second of all, the rare books that you need, it's like 1.5% chance or something, and you need 5 of them or 4 or 6. Wait, you need 6, I think, because it's level 1 and you need level 3 combined. Yeah, I think it's 6, and it's like it's genuinely was so annoying. It's the fun part about the trial chambers is that it's kind of like strongholds, and you learn how to nav them, but it's more standardized than strongholds. Like you learn how to play them, but the thing that pissed me off is how much knockback you get, and especially the new mob. What's it called? The blaze like one, the one that
um,
the one that has wind
Breeze.
chargers. Yes, that one. It like bounces you around the room. It's so annoying. And then when it's a silverfish or a spider spawner and they get stuck somewhere and you can't find them and you can't get the key, it's so annoying. I hated that part. The rest of the round was kind of chill though. The rest is fun. The rest is fun.
Okay, noted. I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever do back, but hmm. I don't know if that was a good advertisement or like warning against
Well,
play.
the rest is just so much that I can't like point out one thing.
Yeah,
Genuinely, there's
sure.
so much. There's exploring. You learn like nobody would ever learn all the types of horses if not for back. That's just the knowledge you would never need. But now every time I just see a horse, I just know what type it is, and it's like really funny. I just know it's chestnut, white fields. Like, why would I ever need this knowledge other for back? It's so
Uh,
funny.
that's fine. Do you enjoy just like learning stuff about the game? Like, do you find that cool?
Yeah. it's 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 interesting just to have deeper knowledge and stuff, even if it's not
Yeah.
really applicable. Because like I
not
said,
really
it ties
into that.
like what I said. Um, with other watching other sports or watching other games, it's still learning experience, and I think like, it's just good. It's good to be um like have wider field of view on things. Um, it's like you know how people say that um knowing more languages just like makes you look at the world different. It's kind of like
Mhm.
that.
Mm. No, I agree. I've been uh working on one shot recently, finally. I was putting it off. Like I don't really need it for AA or anything, but it's just like
Mm,
cool.
yeah.
A question that I've been asking to most everyone is just like, are there any good resources that you would recommend to anyone listening?
Mm, just like Minecraft
It can
specifically,
be,
or
yeah,
hmm.
any Minecraft streaming resource.
I mean, we've talked about this earlier, but I think water reviewing is really underrated too. Like a lot of people started doing this now, but it's generally really good. And I added the channel points reward on my stream. I do water review for people. You can send me a footage of up to 2 hours, and I will water review it like deeply. Because I
Mm.
had run review before, but genuinely run review just doesn't even do much because people send their PBs, and then it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's the best run you got. You probably didn't make any major mistakes. But if you send like a 2 hours of footage of you playing ranked, and you feel like you
Mm.
should be winning more than you're still losing, um, then like there's a lot to break down there, so that's better. So I've been doing that. People can do that if they want, and just doing it yourself is important, I think. Incorporating yourself, it's one thing, because when you start doing that, just watching somebody like Dougal, you start watching him very different. You just start thinking more things that he does, that you never pay attention to, because Dougal's gameplay is not super flashy, but he just always makes the right decisions, and the way he like handles everything, um if you pay really close attention to that, I think a lot of people can just instantly improve.
It's funny you say he's not very flashy. Do you are there
No,
any
well,
runners that you
well,
think they
let
play
me
like
no, let me explain this. He's not flashy most of the time, but then like he will just do a portal, and it's insane. Like you can tell just comparing like the way he does portals and stuff. Or like when he needs to do something crazy, he will do it. He has the capability,
that's
but most
true.
of the time, I feel like he's like playing on 80%, and then he will just like be on like in a close rank match, and he will go 120% for no reason, and it's crazy. But most of the time he's kind of chill. He's like smooth and fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any like ranked or any recent runners that you feel like when they play it's very flashy or like exciting to watch?
I mean, Loki and Hax, obviously, they're probably
Mm.
the other top three runners. Hax has been, well, he does this sometimes. He's like Duya. He can just pop off when it needs to. I think he's been calming himself down a little bit to be more consistent, and it's kind of visible um in his gameplay, because you can compare how he played in season 3 and now. Now he's
Hmm.
like more chill, I think. Um, he doesn't do as much crazy stuff when it's not needed. I feel like he learned that balance. But Loki is really good right now. He's been getting better and better, and it's scary.
Yeah, Loki's insane. He has a sub 10 average in ranked, right?
Yeah, he has something right now. It's like 930 or something.
That's insane. And I saw he uploaded like 3 sub 8s in a row
Yeah,
to YouTube. And the thumbnail was just like 3 pigs.
trip pigs. It's so funny. It's really funny. I know there's been a lot of good people. I feel like at that point where a lot of it is solved, and you can just like absorb the decision making of other people really easily. Because ranked has been good for that, but now when we're just so much better than we used to be even in season 3, um, it's so much easier to just look at the people and just absorb the decision making and just copy it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think ranked has been just really good for the game in that way.
Yeah. We solved so many things. Um, with ranked, I remember when we just started playing, I was really thinking about this, how to like play bastions optimally. Because in RG, you just start trading ASAP and then just hope everything works. But in ranked, you can't really do that. Um, Like
Yeah.
you have to get all the chests because you always need 20 OB. You can't just leave on 10 all the time. Well, I guess you can do home portal, but it's just still slower. And you need enough trades. You almost always want to have 0 and stuff. Um, and the way I was thinking in like season 0 and season 1, I was trying to overlap. Like I would still try to start trades ASAP, but then I would overlap getting chests. But then I just realized that that's just not correct. You should always go for maximum amount of pigs and then get the chest layer or front load chest if it's linear.
Mhm.
So it's like the ideas of how to play bastions changed in my mind uh,
Yeah.
throughout playing ranked this whole
Yeah,
time.
no, I've noticed that.
The good example is doing DK in bridge. You just get every pig you can because you need to
Mhm.
trade so much gold, and you just get every pig you can.
Yeah, no, the idea I people used to think like, I'll just do my route, get a few guys and like
Get,
get all the chests and do everything. And now it's like people are just really forcing like a triple the gap, and Stables is a pretty good
yeah,
example. And stuff like that.
triple to gap is interesting because I think I was like one of the first people who was doing it, but I didn't have a proper route.
Yeah.
Uh, I was doing it in season 3, and it was really bad because the issue that was with it is that I wasn't getting pigs. I wasn't like grabbing the pigs from the triple. But now it's really good because you get gold and pigs. So
Hmm.
the time you spend getting the gold, it like evens out with having more pigs. So that's why it's working now.
And in terms of any percent, do you think it's good for the ranked mindset to permeate a little bit? Like, I don't know, people going for all the gold blocks and treasure, for example, in any percent more.
Well, I feel like it's good for RSG. Like even if you, because for example, in the treasure in specifically, I think getting the backups on the left is just good. Like they're really close. You don't lose any time if you're getting them from the up top, and we just never used to do that. So that's like really good. Thing that changed everyone's play style. But in general, I don't know. There is people have now start like questioning just the way we play now treasure. I think some people just now grab backups later when they need them and stuff. But I don't know if that's good, but I don't know, people have been questioning that.
Mm.
Because you don't know, it's always playing the odds, and you don't know what the actual odds are because it's so hard
Yep.
to calculate. Like is getting, do you go like for example in the gap, if you have triple to gap, you have a lot of gold. Is it worth getting the backups, like the up top backups, because it takes time, but at the same time it's overlapped, but sometimes it's not, and it's weird to think about, but at the same time you can overlap other stuff because people now have been pre-crafting so much stuff. You pre-craft
Hmm.
bars, bow, iron axe, bed, and bricks sometimes. So there's like so much you do. It's interesting to think about, but it's also really hard. And I think everything we've changed with how we play in ranked, it was kind of trial and error, like people just doing different play styles and then just seeing what ends up at the top, what has the best win rate and stuff. Because Minecraft is so hard to think about theoretically because there's so many inputs in this. The situations vary so much, and it's really hard. It's really hard to just have a decisive answer. Okay, doing this is better 65% of the time, or doing this, it's really hard
Hmm.
to calculate that.
I remember people were talking about a similar thing in Fords, like playing strays versus
Yeah.
spawner. I mean, do you have any insight there?
Well, I think now everyone's been leaning more towards just playing a spawner because you overlap pre-crafting everything, and also you just, especially if you have low food, it's better because you don't lose saturation on just like running around
Yeah.
and stuff. But I also seen some people play strays. I think there's definitely a balance to it. You should be playing strays when it's convenient, but it's really hard to judge when it is convenient because
Hmm.
you don't know what the rates are, and that's like the problem. Because if you know it's 6 for 6, you should be always playing strays, and you also don't know what you're getting out of strays that are spawning. You don't know, like one skeleton can mess up everything, and it's weird. But yeah, just playing spawners is just always more consistent, so that's why people do it now.
Okay, one more topic I wanted to cover was K4 hour because you've also been very dominant in that category. Do you have record right now in K4 hour?
Yes, I have record with 15 runs. Before that, it was I think I was first to get 10. Then Ninja Brain got 10. Then Rain and Farmer got 11, and
Mm-hmm.
that's when it ended. Then after that, Farmer got 12 after the cow got legalized.
Yeah.
Then I got 13, and then Du got 14, and then I got 15 again. So that's how it's been. Okay, forever. It's genuinely it's it's a weird mix between RSG and no reset because you kind of don't reset, but you only play good seeds, sort of.
Yeah.
I feel like it's really good for people starting out. If you have like 15-minute PB and you want to get better, you should just learn to play bad seeds because because at 15-minute level you don't need that crazy of seeds, especially now. Like people like in my K4 hour, I think I get so many sub 15s, and it's just the first nether I play. Like I don't reset for the nether. So it's like good to improve at that, and it's an interesting skill that I feel like a lot of people don't have that play RSG. Just
Mm-hmm.
being more consistent and also being able to play out unoptimal runs.
Mm-hmm. I think people have improved at that somewhat since ranked because if you
Yeah,
die, you have to keep playing on.
yeah, ranked has changed that because I feel like most of the people had this mindset in RSG where like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna play single triple. If it dies, it dies. Oh, I'm not gonna place bad. If it's not 6 for 6, I will reset and stuff. But you just never get any runs with that. You need to be able to play on unoptimal seeds because it just makes you better at the game in general. And
Mm-hmm.
then I feel like it adds the depth to your play style and your understanding of the game.
No, for sure. I guess in general, people have been getting a lot better at like running back. Like when you die, like if you die in the end,
Yeah.
how to recover that, or you choke zero, how to recover that, which is it's been nice
Yeah.
to see.
People also have been better at like avoiding deaths that are not recoverable, like dying in lava. That's just you build a habit of always having fires on your bar and stuff, or like
Mhm.
applying the fires at the same time if you're fast enough for this and stuff. It's also just saving. Like I was watching Mangi play ranked the other day, and when he was dying, genuinely, I would not have a reaction time to think of this, but he was like in a very peculiar situation where he was about to die next to lava, and he like boxed himself up properly to not lose any of his items, and
Mhm.
it was really good. Like he almost came back in that match because of that, because he didn't need to reset and play out the overworld again.
Yeah.
Just so many you can just be better on so many levels with this stuff.
Hmm. And then I think also people improved in awareness of like I died. How like what's the plan? Should I reset or keep going? I think people have
Mhm.
gotten a lot better at deciding what to do there.
Yeah. You just need to remember the situation that you've been in and like compare in your head how much time is gonna take to go back, but and
Hmm.
how much time is gonna take to play out the overworld again. If the overworld is fast, maybe you should reset and still run to the bastion the same way because you'll be running either way. But if it takes like a minute to enter the nether, then you should definitely reset.
Hmm. Back to K4 hour, which we were talking about.
Oh yeah.
Do you think 16 will happen?
Well, I've been playing it still after I got the 15.
Hmm.
It's possible, but it just if I'm not intentionally playing for it, and if I would need to play a lot for it. Like 15 is really hard. I think it's like 1530 RTA average or something. For all your runs or something like that.
Um, 4 hours divided by 16, so you need to average 15 flat.
Yeah, that's
Basically,
like
sub
so much.
15 average.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what I've been doing, I would just like with Seeker, it's so good because you can just get so many ocean seeds. Yeah, I lock in
Oh yeah, I've
and
heard of that. You just lock
there,
like 2 billion
there.
seed.
Yeah, I have 30 ocean seeds, but it still just needs. You still just need to get lucky. You still need to
Yeah.
get full ships on it, or you still need to get BTs there, and then you still need to get 2 structure nethers and stuff. So it definitely requires a lot of luck, but it's probably doable if I actually keep playing it or somebody else actually plays it. But it's probably
Hmm.
not gonna happen unless people intentionally try to do it.
Yeah. And
15 is fun. 15 is hard, but it's like doable.
yeah. K4 is just funny to me because it's this category K4 made like years ago, and it's persisted because it's a cool challenge.
Yeah, it is a cool challenge. So fun to think about. Like I've beaten the game 15 times in 4 hours. There's like
Yeah, it's
99.9% of
crazy.
Minecraft players have never done that ever, and I did that in 4 hours.
um,
More people should play funny categories, I think.
you think so?
It's generally refreshing. It's just it's almost like taking a break. It's
Hmm.
almost like that, but it's fun. More people should do it. More people should play back. More people should play Roll and K4 Hour. K4 Hour had like a spark at some point. I think before Dugal got 14, I feel like Mibi played it and stuff. A bunch of people
Yeah,
played it,
I remember that.
which was fun. More people should do that again.
So have more questions that I have been asking everyone. And let's start with what is just like one small time save that you think people should be implementing into their runs.
Hmm. Okay, this is something that I've been trying to get a habit of, but I think it's better to keep shears when you do shears overworld because it's really good in stables and it's also good for a portal. But you need to practice the portal specifically. But it's really good for stables because in stables you often break the blocks. You break the blocks when you do triple to gap, and you break the blocks when you do the gap itself. And
Mm,
I know people drop shears on an island to have them when you die,
yeah,
but it's genuinely just I feel like 2 second time save in every run is better than 20-second time save when you die. Like it's gonna be more annoying to die, but then I feel like the pros of having the time save is better than having the cons of
yeah.
not having shears when you die.
That's an interesting take because I feel like there might be some players who are like who would really want them if they die, but that's
Yeah, I
yeah,
guess it also depends on your skill level. If you feel like you die a
true.
lot, you probably shouldn't do it. But then if you're an improved runner, you should be doing that.
Yeah.
Um, I think Griffin has been doing that. I think Griffin is the only person I've seen keeping shears on his hotbar, and he's been doing that a long time ago.
Mm, sounds like Griffin.
Yeah, it's I think it's one of those things until Duga, Loki, and Hacks not start doing it, nobody's gonna be doing it.
Yeah. That's Griffin is so crazy. He's just always like
No,
doing
Griffin is
everything.
so
It's
good.
insane.
It, it's fun watching him, even when he plays RG. I remember I was watching him in season 3. I think this is the season that he won, and he was coming up with so many. I don't know if he was coming up with it, but at least he was applying that to himself, to his gameplay. So many little things that nobody else was doing. He was doing.
Hmm.
I think he came up with it. Well, I don't know if he came up with it, but he was the first one that I've seen. In the stables triple where we dig up now when we enter
Yeah.
instead of going
For
around.
for
I
the
think he's
chess.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
no, for the first one at least. For the chest, I think we started doing that later,
Oh, like
but
the
like
very first to
yeah,
get
the
up. Yeah.
first
Yeah.
yeah from the stairs he started doing that because you avoid the pigs
Hmm.
from inside the gold room,
Yeah.
and it's like there's so many little things like that that he popularized. I feel like
Hmm. I was gonna say, Priven has obviously always been like well known for his crafting. Just recently, he's been crafting his tools and bucket and shears in like such an optimized way. I should like
yeah.
include a clip. It's so satisfying to
Yeah, he
watch.
like
And,
pre places the iron, and it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
wow. I can't really do that with the way I do my hotbar, but yeah, it's really good.
Next question: do you have any MCSR role models that you wanna shout out?
Probably titanium, like genuinely, they helped me a lot. One of the biggest things that I've been struggling with is just my mental. I know that I've not been doing good, and I know I've been um, mean to some people and stuff. Like I apologize to some people, and I guess I can just like say this here that I'm sorry for everybody that if um I came off as a bad person to you. I've been trying to do better with this. Genuinely, just trying to be better with this. And Titanium helped me with this a lot. They're good on mental stuff. I think they're professional uh, psychiatrist. Is that what they are? I'm not sure, but they've helped me a lot, and I'm glad they are in this community.
Yeah, nice. Either like a psychiatrist or I'm not sure about if I've heard that.
Well, yeah, they're similar but different, and I'm not sure which one they are.
Me neither. Okay, next question. Do you have any favorite runs, either yours or someone else's or both?
Mm, probably, probably my background with hacks. It was generally a lot of fun. Uh, it was hard to do because of the like my real situation and stuff, but it was genuinely fun. It was so much fun. I would do that again. It was fun because it's spending time with your friend, and it's fun.
Mm-hmm. That's wholesome. And yeah, thanks so much for coming on. Before we wrap up, just one last question. Who else would you like to see come on the podcast?
Mm, okay, I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about like who are really good right now that I've never even talked to or heard much of. And I feel like there's two people. It's Budgie and Beef Salad. I wish we've heard more from them. They're really good right now, and it would be interesting to get to know them better.
Wow, those are two people no one else has said. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've talked to Budgie a bit before, but
yeah,
yeah,
they're like
I'll
1-7
think
runner
about
and
it.
stuff,
Yeah.
but I haven't heard much from them.
Okay, well, thanks so much, Rowl. Thanks for coming on. Thanks everyone for listening. If you made it this far, um, go check out Rowl on all his stuff and his podcast with Rocks, 21X Talks with interviewing hacks. And yeah, thanks so much, Rowl.
Thank you for having me.
All right, see you guys.
Bye bye.